Hi, everyone. I'm Penny Cedel, and uh, I would love to share some things with you about the coronavirus and how, as a nurse and as a deaconess, this impacts how we work with other people and what we should be doing. Well, the first thing I wanted to kind of go into was to be able to say, um, in the beginning, when coronavirus was first learned about, they felt that it would be something that would impact only elderly and those who were immunocompromised, which would be some who were undergoing therapies, who had other disease or comorbidities that would impact how they could respond and how their defense mechanisms could help defend their bodies against this virus. Well, what they're finding now is that it's impacting all ages and that there's a huge spike in the incidence in those who are between the ages of 25 and 44. So we're seeing things are moving, which tells me that perhaps those genes in the virus are mutating, and that is something that we've got to be aware of. Now, first thing I want to go through is just very quickly, and if you jot down a couple of seconds for yourself, what are some of the symptoms that one would expect to see with the virus? A couple I would say would be fever, a cough, shortness of breath, and then there's other ones that are secondary level things, such as temperatures, fatigue, bone and joint pain, headaches, chills, and it can start as quickly as 2 days after exposure or could go up as long as 14 days after exposure. And that's why they were saying, for people to, if they thought they had been exposed, to isolate themselves for the 2 weeks. They are now also finding that there's a new, and this was just today, which is Monday, that there is a new set of symptoms that people are experiencing. One is the loss of smell and taste. And they are saying that once one gets through the process, that comes back. But in the meantime, that's another thing, and that's an indicator that people who might come to you would say, nothing tastes good. Well, that's one of the pieces. Next thing you want to do is, what is the one thing that they tell you you should be doing whenever you are trying to protect yourself, or as a medical professional you are serving to take care of those who are sick? Wash your hands. Wash your hands. Wash your hands. 20 seconds every time you do it. Palms, fingers, thumbs, up into the whole hand. And this is just so terribly important no matter what. After you work with somebody, after you do anything yourself, all of those pieces. We normally do hand washing, but we do a kind of an abbreviated version of it. It's so important to do it very, very well. And, they also say to be able to use some of the different types of sanitizers. Well, in the marketplace, you're not able to find those sanitizers. One of the quick things to do, and you can tell people that you might be talking with, that they can make their own. 2/3 isopropyl alcohol and 1/3 aloe vera. Mix that up and use it, and it's the same sanitizer you're paying money for in the store or cannot even get in the store. Some of the things that you want to be able to look at is to avoid close contact with people who are sick. Well, that's okay if you are not working with folks. As a nurse, as a physician, as a healthcare giver of any level, emergency people, those who are out testing, working in the hospital, all of those folks are ones who have that need. Then you have to try and take care of yourself as best you can. So besides washing your hands, some of the other things you want to make sure you do is don't touch your eyes, your nose, or your mouth. We look at people who are wearing the masks around. Well, many times those masks are not good. Number one, they're not worn appropriately. They're open, or people are constantly working around and touching things. that negates any of the protection they're getting. Now, the specialized masks can be better, but they are best left for those healthcare givers who would be working with people who they know are sick or are pretty much certain are sick. So that's a really important piece. And then, if somebody is starting to get symptoms, one of the things that we tell folks are, stay home if you are sick. Self-isolate yourself. Very, very important. Cover your cough or your sneeze. Use a tissue. I keep a little pack of tissues in my purse, or if you have a coat, put it in your coat pocket. Cover yourself and then throw it away whenever you are done. Again, cleaning all the surfaces that are touched or other people may be touching. That's a good way to protect things. They say also stay 6 feet apart from anyone when you're out. We can't expect people to actually completely isolate themselves because we are social beings, and as a deaconess, we're called to be out serving other people. You need to be aware of the things that you can do, things that you should do, and things that you should not do. So again, hopefully you're making a list of things that when you're out working with people, and we're still going to have groups, small groups of 10 or less that can get together. You can do FaceTime. You can do other opportunities of getting together. I'm having board meetings on Skype and Zoom. Those are always important ways that you can still socialize. If you are worried about the spread of the COVID-19 or coronavirus, there's still many, many questions that are unanswered about how it spreads. They say that it can spread from person to person, but that's why we tell people to stay 6 feet apart. Sneezing, coughing, those are all pieces of the droplets being spread, being able to be spread. If someone has symptoms, make sure that you protect yourself. If you're caring for them as a physician, a nurse, a first aid responder, you always need to be gowned, be covered, and be protected. There's also a question that came up that I heard on the news that was saying about packages being delivered. People who cannot get out to the stores now are also working on having things delivered to their homes. Well, now they're saying, what about the boxes and such? Well, they're saying that on cardboard and that sort of thing, it's very unlikely that it's able to spread. But if you have the ability, and this is something I'm not sure everybody does, have the ability to allow boxes to stay out and away from you for 24 hours, then that is the best way. And the ability of it of the virus to sustain itself on a surface is pretty much negated at that point. If there is anything else that I would recommend for doing that, you really need to go to your provider, check with the provider before you go to get tested. If you're having symptoms, self-isolate oneself and make sure that anything that you're doing, take lots of liquids, take Tylenol, not ibuprofen for fevers and achiness and that sort of thing. Drink lots of fluids. Your body's own defenses are the best way to flush things through. There is no vaccine for the coronavirus as of yet. I think by the time we get one developed, it's going to have changed enough that it's not going to really be valuable. But in the meantime, they're working on that. So treating symptoms still is a very viable way of working with things. I don't think there's too much more that I can really say about the coronavirus, and that as a nurse, you really have to work as a part of a team, which is also as a deaconess, you work as a part of a team. You're not out there by yourself. You know, as a deaconess, you are called to go to those that are on the borders, those that are not cared for or missed in the big thing of our society, of caring for people in our society. However, you cannot go out and make yourself sick or allow yourself to be sick, because if you do that, then you are no good to anybody else. So taking care of oneself and working as a team to help others, seeing things at food banks so that food can get out to those folks who would not have access to it, with our elderly, delivering things, helping them. You know, the neatest thing sometimes is just a call on the telephone to allow people to know, hi, this is Penny. I'm thinking about you today. Is there anything special I can pray for you for? And many times people, their spirits are lifted. And as a deaconess, as any kind of church worker, that's a wonderful way to be able to assist other people. If you have any further questions, please just help yourself to giving me a call back or emailing me. My email address is penny.cedel@concordia.edu, or ask your professor, Miss Fitzgerald. She'd be happy to answer, or share with me any questions you might have. If not, please have a great day, folks, and God bless all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.